Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be showing you the best features of the Redmi K20. By the way guys, I've already posted a dedicated video for the tips and tricks section where I've talked about many things which I won't be covering in this video. So definitely check out that video, link for that is in the description. Now with that said, I want to start off with the best feature about this phone, that would be the in-display fingerprint scanner. This is the first phone in the Redmi lineup to come with an in-display fingerprint scanner, and it is pretty fast. It's almost comparable with the OnePlus 7 Pro as well. Besides just unlocking the phone, you also have a new feature called fingerprint shortcut. You can enable it from the fingerprint settings. Just like on the OnePlus phones, you can touch and hold on the fingerprint scanner's location even after the phone is unlocked to use these shortcuts. You can do a quick Google search, open recent apps, or create a new calendar event. And this is the quick preview. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the pop-up selfie camera. Just from looks, it looks pretty cool with that LED lights on either side. This pop-up mechanism has been tested 300,000 times. It also has drop protection, which automatically retracts the pop-up camera whenever a fall is detected. It also has downward pressure detection, which automatically closes the pop-up camera if you try to press it. Now the next best thing about this phone would definitely be its display. This phone sports a 6.39-inch Super AMOLED display with Full HD Plus resolution with the new 19.5:9 aspect ratio. It has 600 nits of brightness and 403 ppi. It's also protected by a 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass 5 for additional protection. As it's an AMOLED display, it's definitely great, and because of the smaller bezels all around and no notch, display looks really immersive. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the performance. This phone sports a Snapdragon 730 processor with Adreno 618 GPU. According to Qualcomm, this is the third most powerful processor in their lineup, right after the Snapdragon 855 and 845. So for the price, it's definitely packing a lot of performance, and you're not going to have any issues with gaming, no matter what game you're playing. These are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. Next, this phone also has support for Quick Charge 3.0 and supports up to 18 watts fast charging. You also get a fast charger inside the box, which is pretty new for a Redmi phone. Next we have Face Unlock. Now just like many other phones out there, even this phone has Face Unlock feature, but it's pretty useless. Face Unlock itself is pretty fast, it unlocks the phone instantly, but the phone itself takes up a lot of time to pop up the camera. It almost takes like a half a second or a second to pop up, and the worst part is you have to first wake up your phone by pressing the power button and then swipe up on the lock screen to use Face Unlock feature, which is pretty slow on the whole. I would suggest you to use the fingerprint scanner instead, which is insanely faster. Now the fault is with the pop-up mechanism, it's slow, and it also makes an annoying sound every time it pops up. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the dark mode. Now you can enable this feature from display settings, and once you turn it on, all the UI elements change to the dark mode theme, and now the UI looks much more cooler. Now this dark mode helps you save some battery and strains your eyes less if you're using your phone late at night. Next we have ambient display. Now this is a feature just like always on display, which always displays you time and date information whenever you lock your phone. By default it's not turned on, but you can enable it from the display settings. You can also change the clock style and the background. You can also schedule it to turn on and turn off automatically at a specific time to save a little more battery. Next we have Game Speed Booster 2.0. Now this one feature gives you a lot of cool features. It improves your gaming experience. You can configure in-game shortcuts, restrict network switching while playing game, restrict background sync, prioritize network usage. You can also enable silent mode, do not disturb mode, and even fix screen brightness. You can just add games to the list, and every time you open a game, all these settings are enabled automatically. Now with 2.0, you can also increase touch responsiveness, sensitivity, and even add touch resistance areas. Next we have display enhancement. Now this is a feature of Game Speed Booster 2.0, which increases the contrast and enhances details for games like PUBG. You get different options like original, moderate, strong, and extreme. Now the next best thing about this phone would be its cameras. On the rear it has a 48 megapixel primary camera with Sony IMX5 II sensor, and for selfies you get a 20 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture. These are some quick sample shots. Next, this phone also has a 13 megapixel wide-angle camera with f2.4 aperture. It has 124.8 degree field of view, which gives you a lot of details in just a single picture. These are some sample shots. It has a 8 megapixel camera with telephoto lens with f2.4 aperture. Now going on next, this phone also has a dedicated night mode. It does take some better pictures when you compare it to the auto mode, but still, results are nowhere as good as a Pixel phone. By the way, you can still use the Google's camera application to take better pictures in low lighting conditions. Next, we have a dedicated 48 megapixel mode. Now, even though this phone has a 48 megapixel camera, by default it takes 12 megapixel pictures. For some reason, if you want to take a 48 megapixel picture, you have a dedicated mode for that. Next, we have Palm Shutter. Now, this is a new feature added with the latest version of MIUI, and it's also available on all of the phones. Once you enable this feature, you can just show your palm to your front camera to take a selfie. Next, we have Beauty FX. Now, this is a new feature that can literally change the way you look. It gives you various options to change your physical appearance, add makeup effects, and even add filters as well. Next, we have Beautify for video, which can make you look a bit more beautiful even while recording a video. Next, we have Panorama Selfie mode. On other phones, it's also called as Wider Selfie, where you can just take a picture and twist your phone left and right to take a wider selfie or a panorama selfie. When done right, it does look pretty good. Now going on next, we can also change the blur intensity in a portrait shot. On previous Redmi and Xiaomi phones, we were just able to take portrait shots. But now on this phone, we can change the amount of background blur effect we want before taking a picture. And surprisingly, we can do it for both the front and rear cameras. Here's a quick sample. Now going on next, we also have slow motion video recording. We can record video at 1080p at 120fps or at 720p at 240fps and even at 960fps. Here's a quick sample footage. Next, it offers AI mode for both the front and rear cameras. Just like most of the flagships these days, this phone also offers AI mode for both the front and rear cameras. Depending upon the scene, it automatically detects few elements like plants, food, or vehicles, and then enhances some details about the image to make it look more pleasing. These are some sample pictures. Next, it offers portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras. Now, this is like the most common feature we find in almost all the phones these days, and even this phone offers that. Now, these are some sample pictures. Now going on next, we can also edit those portrait shots. Just open the picture in the default gallery application and click the aperture button and you get 3 options. First, we can change the amount of background blur effect we want. Following that, we have light trails where the background simply moves around to give you a pretty cool effect. And after that, finally we have the studio lighting effects. This is a new feature. At least as of now, it's not available on all the Xiaomi phones. Now going on next, this phone even offers electronic image stabilization. Now by default it's always turned on, and because of electronic image stabilization, some part of the sensor is cropped and you get a cropped footage. For some reason, if you don't want stabilization and want a much wider footage, you can always disable it from the settings. This is the sample footage. Now going on next, we have the famous full screen gestures. Personally, this is my favorite implementation and probably the best implementation for full screen gestures on Android. Now for a quick preview, once you enable this feature, you can swipe from the bottom of the screen to go home, swipe and hold for recent taps, swipe from the left side or right side to go back. This is really an awesome feature and I miss it on almost all the phones, especially on my OnePlus 6T. Now going on next, we have Quick Ball. You want to use your phone single-handedly? Then this is a great solution for you. Once you enable this feature, a floating bubble will pop up. You can use it in 2 ways. You can either tap and select the option, or else we can swipe. Personally, I like to go with swipe option with navigation keys. Once everything is properly set up, you can simply swipe on the floating bubble to go back, go home, or even open recent taps page. Now going on next, we have some handy gestures. First, we have the double tap to wake. Now this one is pretty simple. Just enable this feature and double tap your screen to wake it up. If you are using face unlock on this phone, then you can simply double tap your phone wakes up, sees your face, and immediately unlocks the phone. You don't even have to use the fingerprint scanner. It is super convenient. Next we have raise to wake. Now this is another super useful feature. Once you enable this feature, every time you raise your phone, your display lights up and shows you the lock screen. Once again, if you have enabled face unlock feature, it wakes up, sees your face and immediately unlocks the phone. So this feature in combination with face unlock works just like the latest iPhones. Now going on next, we have two super shortcuts to quickly open the camera application. First way is to open the camera application by pressing the power button twice. This particular shortcut works anywhere and anytime. Just enable it from additional settings and every time you press the power button twice, camera application will pop up almost immediately. Most of the time it works. Another way to open camera application is from the lock screen. Now once you enable this feature from lock screen settings, on your lock screen you can press the volume down button twice to quickly open the camera application. Well, that's a feature and it works, but personally I still like to use the power button. Now going on next, we have 3-finger screenshot. Now before I show you that feature, let me show you how to take a regular screenshot. On this phone or any other phone out there, especially Android phones, if you want to take a screenshot, press the volume down and power button both at the same time. Once you do that, your phone will take a screenshot. For some reason, if that's a bit difficult for you, you can always use the notification toggle. Now coming back to 3-finger screenshot, once you enable this feature, you can simply swipe down using 3 fingers to take a screenshot. This is personally my favorite way to take a screenshot. Next we have long screenshot. Now to take a long screenshot on this phone, first we need to take a regular screenshot. We can either use the buttons, notification toggle or the gesture. And once you have taken a picture, you will get a preview at the top right corner of the screen. Just click that and then click scroll. Your phone will scroll the current application automatically and then take a long screenshot. If you want to stop in between, you can always click the done button and it will take a long screenshot up to that point. You can find those long screenshots along with your regular screenshots. Next we have a shortcut to turn on the torch. Now there are many ways to turn it on, but personally I like to long press the back button to turn on the torch. This is how you do it, and once you're done, you can press and hold the back button anywhere, anytime. That's when your phone is unlocked to turn on the torch. Now that's definitely a very convenient way to turn on the torch, but doing it again doesn't turn it off. As for me, I press the power button twice to turn it off. Next we have dual apps. Now Xiaomi has this awesome feature called dual apps, which allows you to use 2 instances of the same application. That means you can use 2 Facebook accounts, 2 Instagram accounts, 2 Twitter accounts or even 2 WhatsApp accounts on the same phone. Now there are many phones out there that offer a similar feature, but all those brands offer this feature only for few applications, especially social media applications. While on this phone, we can use dual apps feature on literally all the applications. Next we have reading mode. On many other phones it's also called as night mode, and once you enable this feature, it puts a warm tint on the screen and filters the blue light. According to research, blue light emitted by our displays at night will affect our sleep. So using this feature will prevent that. We can also change the intensity of the warm tint. We can also schedule it to turn on and turn off at a specific time or at sunrise and sunset. Now going on next, we also have the option to record calls automatically on this phone. Now this feature is definitely available in India, but I don't know about other places. And if you want to activate it, you need to open the phone dialer, go to settings, then select call recording and turn it on. You can either record all the calls or few specific calls. If you have signed into your MI account, you can also back up all these call logs. Going on next, we have one-handed mode. Now for some reason, if you think this phone has a massive display and if you can't use it single-handedly, you can use this feature. Once you turn on this feature, you can swipe on the navigation bar from home to left or right to shrink the screen. In this mode, you can literally do anything, make calls, take pictures and do everything with a single hand. You can swipe in the same direction to go full screen, you can swipe in the opposite direction to switch to the other side and do it again to go full screen once again. From settings, you can also change the size of this window. I'm at the screen. Next, we have some pretty cool gestures related to phone calls. First, we have flip to silence ringer. Now, just like the name suggests, when your phone is lying on a flat surface, when you get a call, you can flip your phone to silence the ringer. Here's a quick preview. Next, we have quiet ringer when lifted. Once you enable this feature, whenever you get a call, you can pick up your phone and the ringtone volume goes down. It won't go completely silent, but ringtone volume does go down. Here's a quick preview. Next, we have increasing ringtone volume. Once you enable this feature, every time you get a call, the ringtone volume starts with low volume and gradually increases. Here's a quick preview. Next we have flash when ringing. Once you enable this feature, every time you get a call, your flashlight, that's the rear flash, flickers. Here's a quick preview. Next we have mute first ring from unknown numbers. Now once you enable this feature, every time you get a call from any unknown number, first ring, that's probably 2 to 3 seconds, will be silent, and after that, you will hear the ringtone. Here's a quick preview. Next, this phone has a super handy feature to identify unknown numbers. Just like Truecaller, Xiaomi collects information from various sources to identify spam and scam calls. It isn't as effective as Truecaller, but it does work. Next we have secondary space. Now this feature creates a small box kind of a thing in your phone where you can have different accounts, different set of apps, and so on. If you need 2 different phones for your work and for your personal life, using this feature we can do with it with just one phone. Now going on next, we can also change the background app usage. MIUI offers you additional options to tweak individual apps to further improve battery life. You can completely stop applications from running in the background, you can restrict background access, you can restrict background sync and usage, and do stuff like that. It might help, but usually its effects are not that visible. Now going on next, we have wireless display. Now using this feature, you can cast the screen of your phone to any television with Mirrorcast or to a Chromecast. This feature works really well with MI TVs. Next we have MI Mover. Now if this is a brand new phone and if you want to transfer all your data from your previous Xiaomi phone to this new Xiaomi phone, you can use this feature. Just select MI Mover on both phones and do the needful to transfer all your data from your previous phone to your brand new phone. Next we have Share Me, which was earlier called as MI Drop. Now this is a feature just like Share It app for Xiaomi phones. It comes pre-installed on all the phones, and using this feature, you can transfer any kind of data, whether it's applications, photos, videos, or anything, over Wi-Fi between 2 Xiaomi phones. Next we have local backup. In backup and reset settings, we have the option to backup everything on your phone, along with user data. This is really handy when you have to reset your phone and quickly take a backup of your apps. Now when you reset your phone, all this data will be deleted. So once you are done with the backup, copy it to your PC or a pen drive and transfer it back to your phone once you are done resetting your phone. Next we have lock screen carousel. Now if you're a person who likes to change lock screen wallpapers all the time, this is a great feature for you. Once you enable this feature in the lock screen, touch the screen once and click the button at the top right corner of the screen. Now once you do that, you can swipe left or right to change the lock screen wallpapers. You can like them, delete them, and even go to settings and customize this feature further. Now going on next, we have themes. If you're someone who likes to tweak the look and feel of your phone, then Xiaomi phones or MIUI itself is great for that. You have tons of themes, tons of fonts and wallpapers and stuff. You can download it from the themes app and apply them with just a click of a button. Here's a quick preview. Next we have a super handy feature called Scanner. It's more like an application itself. Now this is how it looks like. You can scan a regular QR code and most importantly take pictures of documents. Now no matter which angle you take pictures in, it automatically aligns the page, changes the perspective and crops the image to give you the perfect document. You can also grayscale it and copy the text from the image. Next we have a feature called SMS schedule. Now using this feature, we can automatically send an SMS on a specific date at a specific time. This is probably one of the most coolest features of this phone. Well, nowadays most people don't send messages, well especially SMS, but if you're someone who want to automate it, you can do it on this phone. Next we have auto start permission. No matter how many times you kill any application or close an application, some applications start automatically in the background, say like Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and they end up draining the battery, especially if you don't use those apps a lot. So using this feature, you can restrict those applications from auto starting in the background. Next we have pocket mode. Once you enable this feature, your phone will prevent all accidental touches when your phone is in your pocket. Next we have the option to mirror buttons. Now usually on most phones, especially phones with pure stock Android, it doesn't give you the option to swap the back and menu button. But on this phone, we can do it. Next we have Wi-Fi Assistant. Now to enable this feature, you need to go to settings, then select Wi-Fi settings, and then select additional settings. You can enable it from here. This feature automatically switches your Wi-Fi connection depending upon the connection speed and signal strength. If for some reason your Wi-Fi network is not working, or if the Wi-Fi connection is poor, mobile data is turned on automatically. Next we have traffic mode. Now once you enable this feature and select extreme mode only, the current application will have priority over your internet. Let's say you're playing PUBG or any online game and you want the best experience and you don't want any kind of lag because of other applications. So just enable this feature and select extreme mode, then the current application will have top priority for internet access. Next we have an app lock built into the system. We can set it up with a different password from your lock screen password and obviously lock applications. Now whenever you try to open any locked application, you have to either enter the password or we can use a fingerprint scanner. Now there are many third-party applications which can do the same, but this feature comes inbuilt and it's quite secure. Next we have private SMS. Now for some reason if you want to hide messages from a specific contact, using this feature you can do that. In the default messaging application, you can swipe down until you see the lock to enter the private messages space. Once again, you have to set up a password and it can be different from your lock screen password and app lock. From here, you can configure this feature. Next, we have folder vault. Now using this feature, we can hide files on your phone. Whether it's a video, photo or any other file, you can hide all those files in the folder vault. To use this feature, open the file manager and swipe down until you see the lock icon. Once again, you have to set up a password and it can be different from any other password you have already set. Now once you're done configuring this feature, you can select any file, go to menu and click hide to hide that file. So guys, those were all the best features. If I missed on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video and definitely check out my video on tips and tricks section. Link is in the description. Now if you're planning to buy this phone, please use the link in the description. It always helps the channel, and if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.